Welcome to Ask Medina, a podcast where your mental health comes first. If you want to have a conversation, contact 856-315-0191. Share your thoughts with a licensed therapist who truly understands what it means when you say, I give up. Ask Medina is a straightforward and realistic approach to your journey on healing.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Ask Medina. Hi, I'm Medina. I hope that you had a great day today. Happy Monday, by the way. Last week on Thursday's Ask Medina Live, there were quite a few questions that came up and issues around grief and the process of grief. And so I wanted to focus a little bit this evening on what the grief process is and where to find some help if you find yourself struggling with various aspects of the grief process or adjustments in life. So the 5 stages of grief would be denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Now, while it's common, someone asked the question, how long does it take to grieve? And the reality is, in reality, really, there's no set time. Everyone grieves in their own way. And you can certainly circle around each stage of grief, go from one stage and think you're moving on to the next, and then go right back to the other. So you can move about the process of grief in whichever way it is that you do, because there is no right way to do it. But most people, most of the time, I'll say, would consider a year for people to grieve. But of course, there are people that grieve a loss for years. And it doesn't mean whether you're able to grieve within a year or it takes you years to grieve, that any one way is the right way. So please don't let anyone tell you any different. So, the reason for the stages, because that was another piece that came up. Well, the reason for the stages of grief, it's our attempt to really process the change, the change that's going on in our lives. It's a way of protecting ourselves while we adjust to life without our loved one. It's a new reality. And so the grief process looks very different for everyone. So please don't measure yourself because sometimes people do. Sometimes people do that. And so with that being said, oftentimes people need to really talk to someone. Grief can come from literally the loss of a loved one through death. It could be the loss of a marriage, as in divorce. It could be sometimes the loss of a person of identity in some way. It could be the loss of a job, retirement. When I know some time ago, I did a podcast on empty nesters. So the transition of our children into adulthood. And so, redefining who you are as a person. So there's many different areas of loss. If you find yourself experiencing any of emotional challenges, I want to leave you with a number that could be very, very helpful for you. So this is if you're struggling emotionally. It doesn't have to be just with grief, but it could be with any emotional challenge that you're going through and you really feel that you need some help and you're looking for a resource. So this would be the National hotline, and it's through SAMHSA. And the national hotline's number is 1 800 662 HELP. So that's 1 800 662 4357. Or when you spell that out, it's HELP. 1 800 662 HELP. It's a 24-hour free resource where you can receive referrals on support groups, community centers that are local. You would explain where it is that you're located in the United States, and they would be able to help give you some support on where to go to get support. So I hope that this video was helpful to someone. And remember, if you are struggling, or if you or a loved one are struggling with the grief process, please get yourself some help. You are not alone. There are many people that do. And one thing is for sure is you don't want to go through that alone and have it linger. Okay, so with that being said, I look forward to seeing you, talking with you on Ask Medina this Thursday, 8 Eastern Standard Time. Talk to me live. Goodbye for now.